Well, because the focus has largely been on Queensland, there has been an assumption that maybe they only thrive in a tropical climate or in a warmer climate or something like that. But in reality, the science, and Sarah, you could probably comment on this, but the science shows that they could, because they can survive heat and cold and flood and drought and so on, virtually all of Australia is vulnerable to an invasion of these ants. So given that, if you accept that Tasmania is as vulnerable as anywhere else, of course, all of our, or the overwhelming majority of our trade comes through our ports. And of course, that means shipping containers. And shipping containers have been one of the ways in which these ants have spread. And so Tasmania is as vulnerable as anywhere else. I was fascinated by the floods in Queensland and stories that emerged of these ants. And Sarah did mention what an extraordinary creature they are. Form that rafts so that they survive, but then in vast numbers they can move anywhere where the floodwaters are flowing and take them, which really brings the implication back in terms of funding of surveillance, because after these mega floods on the mainland, you'd have to assume that you'd have to have surveillance in a much larger area than previously. So I think that's the main point about Tasmania, Andrew, that we are as vulnerable as anyone else. The impacts that Sarah mentioned, it's not only lifestyle in terms of kids playing in the backyard and they can't play and they can't hang out the washing and you can't grow a veggie patch. It's also livestock. It has a huge impact on livestock, but also, again, the native ecosystem, because it's ground nesting birds, it's lizards, they even will access trees to get up into bird hollows and the like. So the impact on the ecosystem is huge as well. So I just think people need to start getting into their head about the different ways these animals move.